Aries, this is your weekly, week ahead tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries. It is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising videos. All are extremely important for the energies that you're engaging with right now. This is a difficult week because everything that we thought was real is thrown into question, and it's on purpose. It's a test. It's a test of the will. It's also a test of faith. It's a test of, I'm sorry about the skipping. I'm using my MacBook Pro. It's 2 years old. It's brand new. Costs $5,000, and this is the quality that I get. This is the skipping that I get when I take videos. There's frustration galore, Aries. And I'm not Aries, but I can feel it. I can feel but it wasn't supposed to be this way. I can feel the wine has lost its taste. I can feel the loss of excitement. And I'm there with you. I empathize. Like there's nothing that you're alone with. You're not alone. With this will come a lot of clarity. And depending on where you are in your journey, the clarity that these moments bring is what's really important to you. And what you really want in your life. The consistency, the things that always matter. And there are things that always matter to each of us. They're going to be different, but there are things that will always matter to each of us. And those are our consistencies. Those are our truths. Those things that always are right. And I don't mean they're always working out right or they're always making money. I just think that, I mean actually those things where it's got nothing to do with external validation of any kind. And that includes things like salary. That includes things like awards. That includes things like raises. All those things we think of are so normal. But no, it includes none of those things. It's like those things that are our real truths, Aries, are those things that none of that has to come. We still love it. We're still connected to it. And so in these points of lack of sensation, of desensitization, of feeling numb in some ways, what are those things that still touch your heart? Because those are the beautiful clarities that are coming through right now. And they are beautiful. Great teacher is here. Learn from spiritual experiences. It came out in reverse, so maybe there's been some problems or challenges to this. Challenges to learning from what you've experienced, like understanding the lesson. And when that happens, pray. This is not a card pushing Christianity or religion in any way. This is a card that says, have faith. And if you don't understand the lesson, if you are feeling lost, pray. Get down on your hands and knees and pray to whatever you believe in and say, what does this mean? I need to understand, because right now I'm so lost and nothing around me is making sense and I need help. So now let's flip the card upright. It's easier to see when it's upright. And maybe the world feels a little upside down right now, a little backwards. And that's the time to attach ourselves to our faith. And what can help that is gratitude. I've been posting a lot of comments. I have an Instagram profile. You can find me at born_without_boundaries. I do a daily tarot card reading over there. I've been posting on Astrology Motivation. That's my second astrology channel. I've been posting in all these different places, just little bits, little short clips to say, here's what you can do to help yourself in these kind of times. And say 3 things that you're grateful for. Say 5 things that you're grateful for. Make it up to 10. Start making a list of those little mundane things every single day that you do that you don't give yourself credit for. But as you make the list and as you check that list off, you'll get into the mindset of, oh, I am productive. I do get things done. Things are happening. They may be going really slow right now. And I would argue that that's actually not the case. Things are going so fast, we feel like they're slow. But they're moving. So there are teachers that want to help you, spiritual and 3-dimensional. And this is a great time to say, I don't understand. Stop. You know that feeling you got when you were in math class, when you were, well, for me it was math class, whatever class it was for you guys. That feeling that you got when you were in that class that was hard for you. When everybody else around you, it seemed like, oh yeah, they were just taking notes. Oh yeah, and you were just like, you just wanted to stand up and scream, stop! I don't understand any of this. What does this mean? I am so lost right now. Second time, Apple Macintosh is frozen on me. Brand new computer. Once again. Not satisfied and not okay. Not cool. Not cool. This is a message I'm channeling. And I have to be interrupted by stupidity that cost me thousands of dollars. Not cool. Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting your message, Aries, but that's what I mean. Even if it's inconvenient for others to hear, you have to shout it out and you have to say it. If you're dissatisfied and you're lonely or you're sad and you're confused and things aren't working for you, then you have to stand by yourself enough to say, I have a right to feel this way. I have a right to my confusion, and I have a right to get the questions answered. And I have a right to honest answers. I have a right to not be perfect. I have a right to not be convenient. I have a right to be a complete and total mess and not always have everything together. I have that right. And if you can't love me for everything and all that I am, when I am scared and when I'm confused and when I need help, then you don't love me at all. You can say that to your boss. You can say that to spirit. I mean, of course, you might want to word it differently when you say it to your boss, because it's not about romantic love. It's about connection. It's about validating and verification of yourself as a human being and as somebody who has the right to receive instead of constantly produce. And this is the struggle and the consequence, I think, is of the cardinal signs right now. Believe it or not, we're actually not getting things as bad as other people, as the fixed and the mutable. But with us, it's this conflict of interest of, but I'm tired of always being the one out front. There's an exhaustion deep down inside of me, and I am so just imperfect. I'm imperfect. And I think the shouting and the rage comes from yourself. It's like shouting at yourself in the mirror to say, can you please understand that people and you should love me, you, even when we're not perfect, even when things are confusing? Allow yourself to be a human. Protection, guardian, drop your shields. And this really is the energy that you're functioning in right now, Aries. Drop your shields. Drop them. There has to be a sense of, I am so tired of all this armor that I wear every day as the warrior. I am so fucking sick of carrying these weapons and always being at war. It's not that I'm sick of being who I am. I'm sick of being pigeonholed into only being allowed to be one dynamic of who I am. And the most sad aspect of all of this is I do it to myself. Now, that's your formidable enemy. And I said that to Scorpio too. You might be interested in watching the Scorpio video. You're both very much governed by Mars energy, right? For you, it's only Mars. For Scorpio, it is Mars and Pluto. Mars being its old energy, it's a dominating energy and guiding energy, and Pluto being its new, because Pluto was more recently discovered than Mars. Of course, people have known about Mars since they've looked up in the sky, right? So Mars has been with us a long time. So this understanding of ourselves, that part of our humanity that battles, that cries out for war, that challenges, that lives up to the challenge, that gets things done, that moves forward, that necessary aggression that is a part of us all. A part of us all. It is not our entirety. It is not your entirety. And so this is the moment where you're like, fuck it. Drop the shields. I need to know that Spirit's got me right now. Because I need to feel protected right now. My greatest battle, my greatest demonstration of strength right now is telling myself off. For not allowing me to be all that I am, just the most convenient bits and pieces. Hermit, retreat and recharge. Very Virgo energy, and do you know why you're feeling that? Because Mars is in Virgo right now. And listen, this message comes to you when it's supposed to come to you. I do not timestamp or time my readings anymore, because I know that even though some of you watch these weekly, thank you, I appreciate that. The message will come to you when it's supposed to come to you. It'll get there when it's supposed to get there. And so you're feeling the correct energy. But this is the energy of Mars is right now, as I filmed this, Mars is in Virgo. I know this because it's my Mars return. Mars return happens about every 1.75 years. So I wouldn't say exactly every 2 years, just under every 2 years. Be brave enough to go into this temporary state of hermitage. Be brave enough, right? Because here we are, we have the Knight. Be brave and honest. And it's interesting how integrity sort of falls to the wayside. But the archetype of the warrior, the great warrior, the Knight, always had an ethical component to it. The warrior wasn't just somebody that ran into a room killing and maiming and conquering. The warrior had ethics. The warrior didn't fight what shouldn't be fought, or battles against things that were clearly weaker. And the warrior had self-control and self-respect. The warrior knew how to honor God and honor other people. The warrior had a set of ethics, and that made its foundational integrity. And I think right now the challenge of the self, since so much of this energy is actually happening where the first house is right now, so much of the self, Aries, so much of the self is in question. And what the battle is, the real battleground, is the battle of integrity. The integrity for myself. Because sometimes we get so wound up in other people's expectations for us that we actually start to think of them as us, misinterpret them, misinterpret ourselves for what the crowd expects us to be, because it's so easy to fall into those little boxes. And it's a sense of, but what about my integrity? What about what I really believe? What about the battles that I choose to not fight? because I think they're stupid, or because I'm worn out, because I don't want to fight them, because I don't believe in them. What about those battles? You know, this right now, the frustration is the inventory of, look at all the battles I've been fighting that I didn't even want to fight. Yep. There's always an extended reading, Aries. Always. Co-create with spirit. It's upside down. Crow is here in reverse. So there's just a sense of a loss of connection to your truth, your true self. The dark places inside of you. They've become scary to you when really they should be the most comfortable, because the dark places have been with you before the light. The dark places were there before light came by and started defining things based on what refracts and what reflects. The dark spaces are those things with just vibrations. And from the time that you were before you, right, in your mother's womb, when you weren't really conscious of the self, you had those vibrations. You could connect. And now there's a sense of a disconnect from that, a disconnect from the key core existence of everything that you are. And this is where the exhaustion is coming from. And this is where you're being called to take a step back. Because it's gotten to be too much. You know, Virgo energy teaches us to work smart, not to work hard. To allow enough time and space for things to grow. And yes, cultivating something is very Virgo energy, and it will kind of like, it'll dominate now that Mars energy that you're feeling. I want to cultivate something. But a big secret to cultivation, Aries, is giving things room to grow. Giving things space. And that's really difficult. And it takes a lot of faith, because we don't make something grow. We provide the environment for it to grow in, and then we hope that it grows. And there's always an element of, what if I fail? I can't fail. You can fail. You can fail. You're going to still exist on the other side of failure. There is another side of life and existence beyond winning and beyond achieving. And failing is only failing if you don't learn something from it. If you learn something from it, it wasn't a failure, it was a lesson. And now I know how to not plant a seed. And I'm going to take this new batch of seeds and I'm going to plant it again based on the new information that I've gotten. What I'm not going to do is sit there and lord over it so it doesn't get sunlight and water it every single day when I'm drowning it. There is always enough. This is Piscean energy. A lot of emotion. This card comes up to make me understand that there's so much emotion happening right now. But there's also a reminder of there's enough for all of us. And we've been convinced that we have no room and we have no space, and that we have to constantly be in competition with each other. But the truth is, there's always enough. Always. Spirit has a plan. This is coming from a little bit in the past. But I think it's a message. I want to see what these cards are. Life is a mystery. Spirit has a plan. In other words, there are things that you still don't understand. You still don't understand how they connect to where you're supposed to go. And sometimes you think, why am I even involved in what I'm doing right now? It's almost like in some ways you've disconnected. You've gotten so involved and caught up in so many different things that you don't understand the real quality of. You don't understand what quality they give into your life, that now you come here and you're completely disconnected. Well, this is a wonderful time, actually, when we start to realize the truth of, should it be in my life or not? Should it be in my life or not? There's a truth in these cards. I want you to give me a second, because I want to focus on them for a second. You need to leave room for spirit. That's the message you need to hear. Leave room for spirit, because it's not just you on the battlefield by yourself. And thinking it is that way is what's making you lose. You have to leave room. Because this whole plan, it's like a recipe. You're part of the recipe. You're an essential part. But so is all the other dynamics that are happening around you. And to be in tune with those dynamics and allow them to happen is a key to succeeding in this recipe. That is your success. And somewhere along the line, you decided that your recipe was all in your own hands and that you were the only one responsible for it. And that is just incorrect. There has to be elements of others. Join me. I'm going to head over to the extended. I hope you'll come too. I'm going to go into tarot and we'll see where the story goes. I'll see you guys over there. Bye.